Hey, welcome back to my channel, Cerius Slack with Cerius Blaq. I'm the host, Cerius Blaq, and I'm going to react. Today, I am looking at more Arrested Development. I've been a fan of Arrested Development since the 90s, came up with them, and this is their song, All I See Is Melanin. I haven't seen this yet. Yeah, I'm excited. They always, come up with something that's going to be soul impactful, I feel. And I'm sure this will be, similar to that. One thing I can see right now, this is the start of the video. Whoever the young lady is right there is watching an older Arrested Development video, I believe. We'll see. So let's hit play and find out together.
All I see is melanin, beautiful melanin. All I see is melanin, melanin, melanin. All I see is melanin, beautiful melanin. All I see is melanin, melanin.
Oh, this speech.
All I see is melanin, beautiful melanin. All I see is melanin, melanin, melanin. All I see is melanin, beautiful melanin. All I see is melanin, melanin, melanin. Yeah. Okay. All I see is you and you blowing the game. People called you deranged, but you grew to the pain. Through the change, the kinky bangs. The way you sang through the negative things, you getting fame while the enemies came with derogatory names. Sometimes a superwoman had to become Lois Lane. Sometimes a Superman had to become Clark Kent. Playgrounds in your heart surrounded by a hard fence. I get it.
Man, did you hear that? Man, he stays
All I see is melanin, beautiful melanin. All I see is melanin, melanin, melanin. All I see is melanin, beautiful melanin. All I see is melanin.
The signs of these rooms they're shooting in is gorgeous.
Beautiful melanin. All I see is melanin, melanin, melanin. All I see is melanin, beautiful melanin. All I see is melanin, melanin, melanin. All I see is pros, no cons or jokes. And from our hair and our clothes, we white as our nose. And when we really start to flower, we truly arose. And when we showing up with power, they cruelly impose. But yo, in about an hour, our booty glows. And with Africa in our hearts and under our toes, we capturing our resources and make them our own. And the whole diaspora pilgriming home.
All I see is melanin. Vote, voting rights act in the gym. Crow, we can make new amendments. Stoked, local.
I love the way she came in.
Council, county commissioner, district attorney. That's a chief law officer in your community. Unity, we could put an end to the buffoonery. Soon to be a black planet again. Lucky you, lucky me.
All I see is melanin, beautiful melanin. All I see is melanin, melanin, melanin. All I see is melanin, beautiful melanin. All I see is melanin, melanin, melanin. All I see is melanin, beautiful melanin. All I see is melanin.
This is fantastic.
Melanin. Yeah. All I see is melanin, beautiful melanin. Yeah. All I see is melanin, melanin, melanin.
All I see is melanin, beautiful melanin. And my wife's so natural, she didn't choose a gelatin. Flying to the Netherlands, opposite of settled in. Bars, max, Kellerman, a born again rebel man. Browner than a spelling bee, blacker than a felony. Acting aggressive,
That was nice.
that you telling me.
TV.
Unmelanated, man, related to the sunscreen. Swimming on the beach, man, you need more than one cream. One thing, speech will say, please hold a marinade. Now they putting melanin in cans of the tan spray. Nuffocate, I can see it running down your leg, babe. Blacker than a band from Sudan playing reggae. All I see is melanin. Freak Nick 96 stuck in traffic, had to sit, couldn't move a bit. All I see is melanin.
Wow.
NFL quarterbacks, Colin Kaepernick. I'll admit, man, he more than black.
All I see is melanin, beautiful melanin. All I see is melanin, melanin, melanin. All I see is melanin, beautiful melanin. All I see is melanin, melanin, melanin. All I see is melanin, beautiful melanin. All I see is melanin, melanin, melanin. All I see is melanin, beautiful melanin. All I see is melanin, melanin, melanin. All I see is melanin, beautiful melanin. All I see is melanin, melanin, melanin.
I got lost for a second, closed my eyes.
All I see is melanin, melanin, melanin. All I see is melanin, beautiful melanin. All I see is melanin, melanin, melanin. All I see is melanin, beautiful melanin. All I see is melanin, melanin, melanin.
That was very nice. I've seen this one. Stop that. We're not doing Wu-Tang right now. YouTube got a mind of its own sometimes. Okay. Anyway, Arrested Development. All I see is melanin. I needed that. I needed that. I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but as a black man, I really appreciated that, and I just love to see my people in joyous moments and thriving. Not to say I don't like to see anybody else thriving, but like it means something extra special to me, obviously. If this is your first experience with Arrested Development, let me know in the comments. I would be interested to find out if, like, if you've never seen them before. Because I would encourage you to go back and, like, look at their catalog all the way back to the 90s. They've got a lot of great songs. And not just, the stuff that made the music videos. The albums themselves have some very thought-provoking tracks on there. This being another one. Well, this was more just a celebration, I think, which they have a lot of that, too. And I need that. You need a song like this every now and then. So shout out to them. I'm glad to see them still doing their thing and doing it well. So please like the video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. And give me any comments that you thought about, this group or the video itself. I'd love to talk to you guys about it. With that being said, I'm going to get out of here and maybe make another video or go play with the cats. Yeah. All right, y'all.